out Scott Field in Starkville, Mississippi. 15th ranked Auburn against 20th ranked Mississippi State. Let's get you caught up on what's happened to this point. A 39-yard field goal by Scott Westerfield misses wide on the first series of this game. And then Westerfield gets a chance to come right back on the second attempt in this game, and he chips it from 29 yards. He knew there he missed from 39, but the 29-yarder was straight and true, and Mississippi State leads Auburn by 3. Craig Bullerjack, Dean Blevins. Here's our game summary to this point. Rushing yards, very difficult to come by. They've got Rudy Johnson, who's chewed up defenses. Dean, so far it's been Mississippi State. It's been all Mississippi State, both offensively when they've had it, and on the defensive side. They have shut down Rudy Johnson, and he gets stronger as the game goes on, but this is a mighty good Mississippi State defense he will be running against all afternoon. Second down at 9 from the I formation. Lane Mackin, the quarterback for the Bulldogs. Little stumble on the snap, and they give it off to Dante Walker, and not much to the 25. Now, just before kickoff, unsportsmanlike conduct called on Mississippi State. And then, because they taunted the Auburn Tigers, Auburn comes back, Dean. They start jumping up and down there at midfield on the M of Mississippi State. Flags come out once again, and this is kind of that emotion we expected. Well, no love lost between Jackie Sherrill and Tommy Tuberville and several of the Mississippi State players toward Tuberville. So tons of emotion this afternoon. Third down at 12. Mississippi State coming up on the 2-minute mark. Mackin steps up. He's dangerous on the run. Throws and makes the connection out to Donald Lee. Is tied in to the 35. How important is this game? You look in the SEC West. Auburn perfect on the season, 5-0. They're perfect, obviously, in the division at 3-0. A very big game for Mississippi State today. Many believe, Dean, here that the winner of this game today will find their way to the SEC title game in December. Well, I think that there's a very good chance of that. You know, Auburn will have gone through half the way through their conference schedule, and they will have won 2 key games on the road if they're able to win here. They won also at Mississippi, and that's what you have to do in the SEC, is win big games on the road. Prentice Cole, the kick into some heavy wind, takes a bounce and goes back the other way at the 40, and it was touched and downed around the 43-yard line. So Auburn's going to have some fine field position when they get back on the field. A 22-yard kick. Well, you mentioned the wind. It is around 15 miles an hour directly into the face of Mississippi State. So that's what affected that punt. Auburn hasn't been able to use it effectively, though, throwing the football. Timeout. We'll come back to Starkville. Mississippi State by 3. Back in Starkville, Auburn on the offensive attack. Rudy Johnson, no surprise, the ball carrier, and taken down by Galladay. Craig Bullerjack back with Dean Blevins. We saw a great game here on CBS down at the Orange Bowl. Florida State and Miami. Expect the same thing today here between Auburn, Mississippi State. Dean, it's going to be run, 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 and a lot of defense. No surprises. There'll be no mystery either. Got about as much mystery as some of those Peter Sellers Pink Panther movies. It's strength versus strength. Leard from the shotgun. Second down, 7. Throws. It'll turn out. Ronnie Daniels, and he's taken down by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 crimson jerseys led by Josh Morgan. That's the one thing about Joe Lee Dunn's offense, Dean. They are in shape, and they go to the football. Well, defensively, Joe Lee Dunn is going to have as good a group out there as you're going to see. And Ronnie Daniels here, he knows that. He's looking for a breakout game today. He is an All-American type receiver, but this season he's really been hamstrung and double teamed. That ends the first quarter here in Starkville, Mississippi, and the Bulldogs lead by 3. Let's just say it's not a love affair. Safe to say. Start of the second quarter, Rudy Johnson upended, loses a couple of yards back to the 49.
Well, that's not how they have it drawn up on the blackboard, but things change when you're playing against Mississippi State. And here is our Exxon virtual playbook, and it is run, Rudy, run, as they run it from a multitude of sets. Here we have the tight end strong right. You have in the line blocking, scoop blocks on the right side, zone blocking on the left. The fullback leads up the middle. They get the handoff to Rudy 5 yards deep, and many times he's to the second level before you know it.
Well, Rudy Johnson has been averaging 143 yards a game so far today. 5 carries, 5 yards. Duval set to punt at his own 35. High snap. Bader back to receive for Mississippi State. This is the definition of high hanger. And taken at the 16, cut at the 17-yard line. The crowd saw a hand, wanted a flag. They won't get it. 34-yard kick. 12:17 left here in Starkville, Mississippi before the half. Hey, that's the hottest song around these parts. Who let the dogs out?
That'll get you fired up, won't it? Hear it in about every stadium now.
Williamson, the fullback, to Dante Walker, the tailback. Walker, the handoff. At the 50, stumbles at the 45, 40, and walks out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Boy, deceptive speed.
Dante Walker is coming into his own. Last week, a huge weekend, and the offensive line here at Mississippi State's gotten better and better each game. He's at the second level immediately. Arm tackles will not work against this guy. He came in as the best player in the state a couple of years ago. Last year, a disappointing season, but right now he is on the verge of a big-time breakout season.
Well, the line judge able to see he stepped out of bounds at the 41. 12, first down, Mississippi State. Matthew on a good pass, throws on the right. Justin Griffith, touchdown. "41 yards, and Houdini, Wayne Matkin, steps away from pressure and finds a wide open Justin Griffith.
And that's the key. That is the key, that Matkin was able to be elusive in the pocket, to be nimble, to step up by time. And when he did, he found the busted coverage in the secondary, and Griffith was wide open and takes it in. And with this defense, a 10-point lead could be significant, if it's assuming he knocks this one through.
Third touchdown thrown by Matkin in the first. Caught for Griffith this season. Westerfield extra point is up and good. Mississippi State up by 10. Oh, it's that old saying, drop and give me 10.
Well, normally at Mississippi State, they may not do as many push-ups as they would like because it's not been an explosive offensive school. Today, it's a little different story. Defensively, they don't allow many push-ups from the opposition.
Well, a quick scoring offense, 17 seconds. 53 yards, 2 plays, and Griffith on that wide open toss from Matkin, 41 yards.
Well, the numbers are ugly if you're an Auburn fan so far. 0 first downs, 7 for Mississippi State, and Auburn has a grand total of 12 plays and 15 yards. And we knew that Mississippi State's defense was terrific, but we're talking about against an Auburn balanced offense that has been terrific this season. And we are 3 minutes into the second quarter, and they have 15 total yards.
Dean, another note Auburn fans will not want to hear, but the Bulldogs have won 9 of their last 10 when Matkin throws a touchdown. John Michael Marlin will kick it away. At the 6-yard line, Robinson heads to the near side and brought down at the 22. First and 10 Auburn, down 10. They start this drive from the 23-yard line. Rudy Johnson, almost like running slow motion right now. He's looking for a hole, basically. He's tackled at the 27.
Well, I love his offensive line. I think that number 55, the center, Ben Nowland, is one of the best I have seen this season. The other guys do a good job, but we can't overemphasize what he's playing against today. 134 carries on the season. That's a bunch for this time of the year. Already has 7 touchdowns, and he gets stronger, but he will have to for Auburn.
Only 11 yards on 7 carries to this point. Second down. Rudy Johnson breaking a couple of tackles. So tough is Rudy Johnson after contact is made. He was stopped maybe for a 2-yard loss, but gets back up to the 29.
Well, he packs a big punch at 5'9", 230. Watch him bounce off would-be tacklers. These tacklers are good. They have one goal out here today, and that's to tackle Rudy. But he's about 5'9", and he's probably a little heavier than that.
Auburn 0 for 4 on 3rd down tries. They're looking at 3rd down and 4. Leard from the shotgun, 2 wide receivers to the near side.
Watch the fade route here.
Leard blitzes on over the middle, incomplete.
You know what, Craig? Leard is not going to have time to do anything more against this defense than a quick 3-step drop. 3 steps, get rid of it. 1, 2, 3, got to get rid of it. Birdsong on the blitz, and you see what I'm talking about. This defense will blitz from all angles. They'll send different people every time, and you can't find any rhythm.
4th and 4. Duvall once again will punt to Huntington.
This is into that stiff wind.
Low snap. Larry Huntington awaits.
That's like a 60-degree wedge. It was hit pretty well, but you get a 60-degree wedge up in 20-mile-an-hour wind, and it'll come back at you.
The ball game. Running smooth is DeCenzo Miller. What a combination they have at tailback. Last week, Miller and Walker combined for 328 yards. Dean, 44 carries. You break that down, that's 7.5 yards a carry. Walker comes out, Miller comes in, and they continue to punish Auburn.
Nothing fancy. Donald Lee, a terrific block, and Hutchins does his job, but DeCenzo Miller's hitting that hole very quickly. A lot of incentive today. We talk about no love lost for Tommy Tuberville with some of these players. DeCenzo Miller feels that way because of a recruiting situation that happened when he was recruited by Mississippi.
And round, and it was snuffed out nicely by Auburn. Number 36, Roderick Hood, the roverback, stayed home.
And to elaborate on that thought, Tommy Tuberville has done such a good job of winning where he's been. You know, the Auburn program now is doing really well, and he did at Ole Miss. But in this state, Mississippi State and Mississippi, there's, you know, those schools don't like each other. And he recruited most of these Mississippi State players to Mississippi, and it just wasn't pretty at times.
From the eye play action. Van throws. Good catch. Terrell Grindle, who was very quiet last week, only 1 reception against the Gators for 3 yards, pulls down another pass, and that one a 15-yarder. Grindle, a sophomore from Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
He's the best of the receivers. He's the big play receiver, and he has track speed. He's a 4.3 40 runner.
5 catches for 50 yards. Fant throws into the backfield. Nice one-hand grab. DeCenzo Miller couldn't escape the grasp of Hood, the roverback. We got word now that Matt can, Dean, bruise ribs, and it's a question mark if he'll be able to return or not.
Wow, this all goes on to Fant then if that happens, and so he will find out very quickly, as we will, if he's as good as the Mississippi State thinks, as Mississippi State and the coaching staff thinks he is. Into the arms of DeCenzo Miller, and he'll take a couple Auburn Tigers down to the 12-yard line. What a diversified attack.
Look at this.
DeCenzo limping off. I saw him get kicked in practice 2 days ago, as he is the placement holder. So now he has a right foot problem and a right hand problem. Left side, it's fine.
Miller leaves this game right now with 7 carries for 70 yards. Dante Walker checks in at the tailback spot. 3rd down and 2. Man on the option. Walker turns the corner, breaks the tackle. 1st down inside the 10-yard line. And Pounds moving around for Auburn. Devarius Pounds, number 41.
Well, they'll come option. Good job by Fant in execution. Alton Moore almost gets to Walker, but Walker is so strong. He will break through those arm tackles just as Johnson will on the other side. 0 first downs, folks.
First and goal at the 9. Sprint out. Hit and then dropped. Boy, they read it nicely. Travarius Robinson, the left corner, had it in his grasps and let it go.
I don't know where Fant got confused here. That ball was not tipped. And it also was not near his receiver. Fant and Mississippi State awfully lucky there.
That brings up second down, 8th play of this drive. To the 1. Alex Lincoln made the tackle, and Tuberville's trying to figure out how to stop the ground game of Mississippi State.
Well, I think the defense is just so off balance. They don't know what's about to hit them. Nice play action there. It's a draw coming up the gut. Terrific blocking, but Mississippi State's been running option. They threw it often in the first quarter through 12 passes, and Auburn is confused.
Full house backfield, up and in. Touchdown, Mississippi State.
That's very dangerous what Fant did that time. He got away with it, and it's a good call because it was over the goal line. But when you stick that football out there, it is anyone's property, and you're hoping that the official sees it and says touchdown right there.
Well, it popped out.
It did, but it crossed the plane.
Yeah. Scott Westerfield will try the extra point. Davey Crawley is going to have to hold because of the injury to DeCenzo Miller.
Or injuries.
Kick is away and up and true. 17-0 Mississippi State. Left before half. Mississippi State on top of unbeaten Auburn by 17 here at the sellout Scott Field.
They are eating this thing up. I mean, this is a wonderful atmosphere. It only seats a little over 40,000, but it's a 40,000 that's full of energy and life.
9 plays, 63 yards, under 5 minutes. Fant jumped it up and in, but the big play was DeCenzo Miller's 30-yard run that got him down close.
Let's watch the leg here of John Michael Marlin. He told me the other day that he's played some soccer. Said, I never wanted to mess with playing any other position in football. He said, smart. Very smart.
Well, he gets a good leg this time, and smartly Carter takes a knee about 4 yards deep.
I'm not believing the numbers that keep being peppered over here to me. Mississippi State has run 37 plays to 18 for Auburn.
Exactly. Average yards. This also tells the tale here, Dean. Nearly 6.5.
Yeah, 4 is what Mississippi State had wanted to get. So there's 2.4 over that. That makes play calling easier.
First and 10, down 17 from the 20. Leard, shotgun, throws near side. Marcel Willis. Boy, gang tackle. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bulldogs in the area, and Sean Birdsong led the charge. You know, Jolie Dunn, in his 5th year here, the defensive coordinator for Mississippi State. I mean, it's well known that he's the highest paid defensive coordinator in the SEC. I mean, they're paying for this defense, and he has used different combinations. He will blitz you in different packages. Second down, Rudy Johnson wrapped up. Well, coming up on the AXA halftime report, Tim Brando, Spencer Tillman. Of course, you're going to have all the scores and highlights, plus the latest college football news. Stay tuned. That's coming up on the AXA halftime report.
Well, you mentioned Jolie Dunn. He's a guy that is unconventional. He does things his way. His defenses play unconventionally. Very, very dedicated to his profession. As we see the man on the offensive side who is really struggling with play calling right now, Noel Mazzoni.
Mazzoni coached with Jolie Dunn at New Mexico. Mazzoni was a quarterback for the Lobos. Lear, good protection underneath, and full was that was a tough catch. Marcel Willis took a shot from behind and in the numbers by Knight and the Pig Prather.
I think you're going to have to get some vertical game going if you're Auburn. You've got to get your tight ends into the game. Diamond's a nice player. They've got another tight end and a 6'6" freshman who's a good-looking athlete in Johnson. I think anything you do east and west against this speedy, aggressive defense is not going to work.
Fourth down for Auburn, and once again, punting situation. Damon Duval back to return is Larry Huntington. Not much time left here before half, but Mississippi State's going to have 5 field positions. Wow. Let me take that back because a boomer just got him off the foot of Duval into some pretty stiff wind. That's still rolling. Inside the 10, down inside about the 8.5 yard line.
That's the best offensive play they've had all day. I don't remember the last time I saw a team not make a first down in an entire first half. It's a combination of the frustrations on Auburn's part, but it is also just terrific aggressive defense by Jolie Dunn's bunch.
Well, that punt covered 65 yards. Duval's been credited this year for 71.
There's Jolie Dunn right there. Here's a guy that comes to the office at 3 in the morning on Sunday to look at game tape. He says, I don't want people to bother me. If no one's there, I'll drink coffee up there. He is a unique fellow.
Matkin is back, as is Jacinzo Miller, who had his ankle retaped. And a big pile up there around the 10-yard line.
Won't surprise you to know that Jolie Dunn this week did more film preparation than he's done since he's been at Mississippi State University, and I think the homework paid off in the first half.
That ends the first half here in Starkville. Mississippi State leading Auburn 17-0. We now take you back to Tim Brando in our New York studio. Tim. Ready to start the third quarter here. 15th ranked Auburn 17-0. Craig Bullerjack back with Dean Blevins. And Dean, you look at the first half numbers, there are several that jump out. Auburn Tigers not a first down in the first 2 quarters. 16 rush yards, 28 total yards, and what's a stunner, that's on 21 offensive plays in the first half.
That is absolute total domination. And when you look at the running backs, Rudy Johnson is the one we thought would accumulate all the numbers, and they have been accumulated by DeCenzo and Dante of Mississippi State. So it has been a whitewash. You know, I was looking back at last year's game down at Auburn, and Auburn only made 9 first downs in that one. And that's the least number of first downs Mississippi State has ever given up. So they have Auburn's number. Auburn has been beaten thoroughly at the line of scrimmage. And if they have any chance of coming back in this game, their linemen have to be much more physical with a very physical Bulldog bunch.
John Michael Marlin set to kick, and second half is underway here in Starkville. Tim Carter will not bring it out and takes a knee. Well, Dean, let's take you back to last year. Mississippi State's Matt Wyatt, who filled in for Wayne Matkin, hits Matt Butler for that go-ahead 11-yard score. And then Fred Smoot, the talker, he seals the victory with the pick in the final seconds. And Mississippi State, they come back with 15 points in the final 4 minutes to win that game.
Well, that one was a complete stunner, and Auburn hasn't recovered from that in this series. Of course, they haven't in the sense that they've come back in the first part of this season and played extremely well. But they're playing against a different breed of cat out here today.
Offside's a call against a kick team, so they're going to bring it back and re-kick this ball from the 30-yard line.
Well, Auburn has to begin by getting first down. Getting one first down to begin.
One would help.
Yeah. You know, you've got to start somewhere. They're going to be bucking that wind. They're going to be right into the teeth of that wind. But we'll see what the staff, led by Mazzoni, will come up with here after having a halftime to adjust. Tuberville telling us he just wanted to hang in there so he would have a chance to win it in the fourth quarter.
Carter lost it at the 3, picks it up, brings it near side. Flags are down, sidesteps at the 20, 25, 32-yard line. A fine return, but again, flags that we saw in the first half, down once again.
Well, that appears to be the 7th penalty on Auburn.
Holding.
Number 7. And just when it looked like they would be getting good field position, you move them on back.
Team Tuberville last year was 5-6. This year they start 5-0, and there's already been talk about bowls, about postseason play.
Well, they only need one more win to get there. I think there's no question but what Auburn will get there pretty quickly. I don't believe Tommy Tuberville felt this was a national championship type team, but he still believes in his club, and he's a fighter. I mean, this game is not over.
From the shotgun, Ben Leard. 4 of 12 in the first half, hands off to Rudy Johnson, and picks up his biggest gain of the day, 9 yards to the 19. Now, Rudy Johnson had 9 carries in the first half for 16 yards.
Well, and you see Rudy talking to his guys, saying, give me some daylight, just give me something. And they did that time. Now, Auburn is a team that when it lines up in the gun, they throw the ball almost exclusively. That last play, it was the gun and a run.
That was actually the first down of this game for Auburn. From the eye. Back to Rudy Johnson, chopped down at the 22. Rudy Johnson, a junior college All-America. Butler County Community College out in Kansas. Won a couple of junior college national titles last year. His numbers staggering. 2,224 yards. 31 touchdowns.
You know, Joe Lee Dunn told us the most important thing for them defensively was to tackle Rudy, and there's a good example of it.
Well, Pig got his nickname back in when he was 6 years old because of, you guessed it, eating habits. He was a pig, and has stuck with him since. Rudy Johnson behind the line. Will they string him out?
You know, if Pig got that nickname the other night, you and I deserve it after the barbecue feast that we had. No, you can't go left and right, can't go east and west as they run the stretch play, which works against so many people. But look at the defense just string this out, and Rudy Johnson looking for a hole to try to slip through. There's nothing there.
You know, it's been a game of game tackling, which is just really a Joe Lee Dunn's defense calling card.
Yes, it really is. Really is.
Third down and 13. 3 wideouts to the far side. Leard throws underneath. The catch is pulled down. Daniels. And off comes a hat and a couple of bean bags.
Well, what a ferocious hit. And it looks like that recovery by, was it Simmons?
Yeah.
What a heads-up play by a big 320-pounder. Has the presence of mind to pounce on that after hustling downfield. That is an impressive play by an offensive lineman.
Kendall Simmons, a junior out of Ripley, Mississippi. You're right, 6'3", 320. And
he turned down Tuberville in Mississippi, and he ends up playing for Tommy when he goes down to Auburn.
This drive continues. 1st and 10 from the 29. Leard over the middle. Caught and then dropped.
We're seeing a clinic. I mean, this is an absolute clinic by Mississippi State. That was a good route. That was good protection. The ball was right on the money. But the defense was as well. Watch the zone coverage. Perfect timing. Josh Morgan, a guy who walked on here, followed his brother in his footsteps, and this guy is a really solid player for Joe Lee Dunn.
Well, he led the nation in total defense a year ago. He's number 1 in the nation right now against the run. 26 yards. 2nd down, 10. Rudy Johnson. Oh. Where did Hagan come from? Hey, don't do that. I saw the throat slash. You see that?
No, I didn't. Nope, I didn't see that. That would have been the first mistake by Mississippi State, though. I mean, I'm serious about this clinic, a tackling clinic going on here.
Full emotions, riding high. 3rd down and 10.
Of the 30 offensive plays for Auburn, 15 of them, half of them, have been for no gain or negative yards.
4 wide receivers. And now a timeout. Leard calls timeout. And the noise loud and raucous. 8:41 left, 3rd quarter. Mississippi State 20th ranked, leading 15th ranked Auburn 17-0. Jackie Sherrill, Tommy Tuberville.
Well, Ben Leard in there saying, guys, come on, give me some time. Because of being long yardage situations on 3rd down, Auburn only 1 of 9 on conversions.
Leard's gone exclusively with the shotgun. From the backside, the blitz. They throw it up for grabs. Caught in the pocket. Right in the breadbasket is the tight end, Rudy Johnson, the freshman from Montgomery, Alabama. Birdsong brought him down.
Well, this is the good-looking big prospect I mentioned earlier at 6'6", that he needs the ball lobbed up to him, and Leard gets hit with a backside blitz. But this is an example of throwing it over the top and even Smoot with a late hit. Josh Morgan in the backfield, but even a late hit wasn't enough to disrupt that one. Beautiful play.
That was the 29th play this season for Auburn of 20 yards or more. And they're on the move now. Rudy Johnson, that pass is that will open up the run game, and he follows his blockers of Nowland and Castillo. You know, Dean, you saw Timmy talk about Heisman hopefuls. Here's a few others, and Michael Vick continues to impress.
Oh, absolutely. LaDainian Tomlinson down there at Franchione. Dennis Franchione and his guys win again at TCU to stay undefeated. Eric Crouch struggling today. Josh Heupel at Oklahoma may be a guy, if they were to upset Kansas State next week, that might jump in late.
That was a pickup of 6, 2nd down and 4. Oh, right on the knee, Galladay. Toby Galladay. You want form tackling, I mean, use that at your coaching clinic.
Galladay is winning the battle with Simmons. Galladay comes in from the left-hand side of your screen, and look at Simmons, 73, trailing him. He just completely lost. Had a slant on that time, and it was a perfect play call. And when you have the right call on, and you've got a guy 6'3" and 315 pounds doing it that's quicker than a cat, you got a good chance.
Loss of 2, 3rd down and 8. Rudy now 15 carries for just 27 yards.
Blitz. Too many men coming in. They could not account for them.
And Dean, I think when you talk to people around the country, why is Joe Lee Dunn's defense so successful? Because he's taking chances. Every time he throws, he's going man coverage with his DBs. He's bringing everybody, and he must have tremendous confidence.
Well, he does. His guys can cover man-to-man, but the reason it's successful is, number 1, he has great athletes. Number 2, they can run. And number 3, they play hard every snap.
Duvall, the kick, and a fair catch by Pig Prather. 39-yarder. Well, here's the answer to the Aflac trivia question. What is unique about John Heisman's relationship with Auburn University? It's the only school he coached that has had a Heisman Trophy winner. And here they are. A couple of good ones, by the way, Dean Blevins.
Pat Sullivan, I think he can throw the pigskin around a little bit, and a guy named Bo. Now, there are 2 really superstars, huh?
Like Bo Jackson, if not one of the most, the premier athletes that college pro games ever seen.
Oh, just fabulous. That injury robbed him and us the last few years.
Mississippi State back on offense, and they are continuing to run and chew up Auburn's secondary. DeCenzo Miller, you get past that front of Auburn, and then he just has open running room.
Well, and DeCenzo showing he is a tough character, and also showing he doesn't want to give up his position as the starting tailback. He goes out in the first half with a sprained ankle. They go tape it, and he's back in the lineup. But when you have guys like Dante Walker and Justin Griffith hanging around, you don't want to miss any action.
Miller now 9 carries for 91 yards. 1st and 10 from the 30. Miller again, stepping over white jerseys to the 35.
See, I think there's a lot of difference between having 2 or 3 tailbacks competing against one another and rotating them than rotating quarterbacks, which has become common. I mean, Texas, I hate to pick on them because they were humbled today, but the experiment with Sims and Applewhite really hasn't done much for team chemistry. At quarterback, it's tough. At running back or right tackle, that's another matter.
3 wide receivers on 2nd down and 5. Under 6 minutes left, 3rd quarter. Little bootleg, Matkin up for the flat. Harold Lindsay, the junior from Marietta. And Rashawn Walker, the roverback, makes the tackle.
Mississippi State making this look easy. Look at Wayne's numbers, 11 and 19. He has the touchdown, and he's avoided the bad play today, Craig.
Yeah.
You know, usually that's been the thing that's held him up. Coach Tuberville said, we want to put the game into his hands. Well, right now, he's got a 17-point lead, and Matkin's not making any mistakes.
You know, Tuberville told us that he thought that the improvement with Mississippi State lies in that young man's hands, the maturity and the development of Wayne Matkin. Mark Brown making the tackle. He may get some sun.
Yeah, that'd be different. It's hard to get sun in your motel room studying game film.
Miller breaks a tackle and then stood up and dropped at the 49. A pickup of 1. The clock will continue to roll. You know, DeCenzo Miller and Dante Walker, we've had a chance to really talk to both of these young running backs the last couple of weeks. We were here last week for the Gators. And Dante Walker told us that, you know what, there was some talk about maybe a running back controversy. He says no. Walker and Miller, the night before games, are roommates, and that's by choice.
Yeah, they changed that. It wasn't that way the way they set it up to begin the year, but as people talked about a controversy, Dante says, hey, DeCenzo, let's room together, and they've done that, and there is absolutely no controversy.
Miller's over 100 yards, 12 carries, up the century mark. Matkin throws, flags are down. Walker breaks the tackle at the 30. Still on his feet to the 20-yard line, but a flag is down back here at the 40. Javar Mills from his left end made the stop.
And I don't know if Auburn saw the flag and held up or not, but that was a play that Miller.
Holding during the run by the defense, which is declined, 4th down.
You know, DeCenzo Miller didn't hold up, and he reminds me of Marshall Faulk. There's a lot of similarities to the terrific runner for the world champion Rams.
Now Dante Walker is in now at the tailback spot, along with Kenny Williamson, a fullback. 1st and 10 from the 20. Walker gets the call, stuffed, and dropped. Courtney Rose makes the stop. Rose is what they call the whip back. And Dean, what the whip back is basically a hybrid, a guy who's not big enough to play backer, but maybe too big to play the secondary.
Yeah. Well, he's had a good season. Today has not been a good day for him, and it's not been a good day for 92. See McNeil there. DeMarco McNeil is a guy who slimmed down to 300 pounds from about 325 as a redshirt freshman who has been a dominant force so far this year.
Matkin throws, picked. Beautiful on the timing by Creighton. His 3rd of the year, 7th career interception for Rodney Creighton.
Well, Matkin making a critical error here, and he had one happen like this last week against Florida. He's going to the wide side of the field. This out route is a little bit farther than your typical short out that you can zip on a line and get there quickly, and the ball hung just enough for the corner to break and make the interception.
Matkin has now thrown 3 interceptions the last 2 games, but the Bulldog defense continues to have answers. Boy, Willie Blade led the charge, and Rudy Johnson has been ineffective so far to this point.
Well, the guys in the maroon are just pushing the guys in white around. They are moving, as you see Joe Lee Dunn. He's not, he doesn't have poison ivy. He's not upset. He's sending in defensive signals.
And you know what, Dean, too? You see, now Tuberville wears a headset. Joe Lee Dunn says, I have no use of that. I've already got my game plan in my head. They bother me. I don't want people talking to me during a football game.
If I had 4 fast, big 300-pound linemen up there, too, I wouldn't wear one. You know, Joe Lee Dunn is the guy who has special motivation here today. He was the interim head coach at Mississippi when Tommy Tuberville came in and took over. And when he did come in, Tuberville had him in for a meeting and said, you know, do you want to, we don't have a position for you. Here's right where I'm talking to it. He didn't have a position for him there because he's gone to Arkansas. But look what he's done everywhere he's been. Third in the NCAA, first, and at least 1 year at those individual schools.
Third down and 12. 4 wide receivers. Play clock ticking down to 4, down to 3. They get it off. Leard settles in the pocket, throws. Little pitch and catch. Lorenzo Diamond up to the 29. Not enough for the first down.
Not enough.
Birdsong got help from Galladay.
Well, this is one you probably have to go for, and Tommy Tuberville is choosing not to do it, and he has the reputation of a riverboat gambler. He'll run fake kicks. He'll have onside kicks. He'll go for a lot of fourth downs, but it chooses not to at the 30-second mark here of the third period.
Duval punts away. Huntington underneath. Boy, has to run up at the 43-yard line.
Boy, you almost have to go for that. You know, I say that you almost have to go for that because, Craig, it's into a very stiff wind. The punt was only 28 yards into that wind. So, you know, sure, if you don't make it, you're really in a jam. But that's one that I'm sure Tommy had to think a little bit about.
Good look at Wayne Matkin. 1st and 10, final seconds of the third quarter. Thrown out to Walker. And he brings on a number of white jerseys. They stack him up. Clock continues to run. No gain on the play.
This is one of those games that it seems like the team Mississippi's playing against might be able to play about 10 quarters and not score.
Well, that ends the third quarter with the score. Mississippi State pitching the shutout against Auburn. We'll return to Scott Field right after this message and a word from your local station. That's Floyd Porkchop Womack, their fine left tackle, 6'3", 346, has struggled all year long, Dean, with the stretch fracture to his left leg. He played, had to come out actually during that break, and that leg, you can tell, really bothering him.
Well, he's been in and out all day, and we talk about his name and have fun with him, but this guy is a big-time player. He'll play in the next league. He's a guy that's another one of those 320-pounders that Jackie has down here who's really athletic.
Well, Dean, it's been a game of run and pass. Mississippi State's been able to really mix it up very well, and then from that point, it's been the Bulldog defense that has just stifled Auburn.
I think the story of the game is clearly the defense for Mississippi State. These guys are unbelievable. 37 offensive plays have been run against them, and 18 have been for no gain or for negative yards. 3 first downs at this point for Auburn, and 85 total yards. You and I could play offense and have a chance. We wouldn't be behind. We'd have a chance to win.
Third down and 9. Pitch and catch, and it's pulled down by Donald Lee, the tight end, hit by Creighton.
Well, people around these parts know that Jackie Sherrill always has great tight ends. He had Reggie Kelly here, a second-round pick the last few years, and Jackie tells me that Donald Lee, the big sophomore there on that play, at this stage of his career is ahead of where Kelly was. He really likes this guy.
First down at the 42-yard line, and now you saw Matkin calling timeout. We'll take a break. Mississippi State up by 17. State front line, Michael Fair, 16th straight start for Jackie Sherrill.
Watch him, Craig. He's great snapping and moving at the same time, which is not that easily done.
Fumble. Loose ball.
Maroon got it, I believe.
No, now I see White. Boy, everybody after that football.
Yeah, Mills got it, I believe. Javar Mills will pounce on this one, and it was knocked loose on a flying stab.
Dontarius Thomas.
Yeah, DT got it.
That's easier to say.
Dontarius Thomas causes the fumble, and Mills gets it, and the best field position that Auburn has seen in a long time. But can they take advantage of it? They've got to do it now, and they have the wind behind them. They're one play away from being right in the middle of this game.
From the shotgun has been Leard. Stands, good protection, deep ball. Throws it up. Incomplete. Boy, that was a scary throw. Back was Ronnie Daniels, nearly had it, but Fred Smoot playing some cover defense from his corner spot.
Well, Smoot's not going to be out of position, and Daniels has to go up and just pull that one down. But Smoot is special. He's got him a website, smootsmack.com. He's one of those guys. He called, he's had some words with Tuberville. He actually signed with Ole Miss originally, ended up going to junior college, then here, of course, and now getting to play against Tommy Tuberville.
Second down and 10. Heavy rush underneath. Carter makes the catch. First down, Auburn at the 43. Josh Morgan made the tackle.
Hey, Carter, who had that, I thought he might circle on around that time instead of cut it back. He's a track guy. Number 2 can fly.
Lear going up top. Got a man right on the fingertips is Carter.
And there's the guy who can fly. He got behind Pig Prather, 29.
You know, Carter has a great bloodline, Dean. His cousins are Gooden, Sheffield, Tim, Ozzie Newsome, Carlos Carson. And Tim Carter is a blazer, a 4.3 sprinter in the 40, and a 10.6 100-meter man.
Now, it's hard to believe what you just said. That bloodline is incredible. If that ball is thrown a little bit farther, that's a touchdown.
First and 10, inside the 20. They throw it out. Keith Evans, a full back, down to the 11-yard line. A pickup of 8, and Fred Smoot made the tackle. Auburn inside the red zone this season, 20 opportunities. They've come out with 14 touchdowns and 2 field goals.
That's an unbelievable percentage of not only converting, but converting with touchdowns. And Tommy Tuberville told us, he said, let's hang around, although I don't know if 17 to zip is really hanging around. He said, we'll find our stride offensively, and this is the most impressive they've been all day offensively.
Second down and 2. Lear dumps it over the middle. Catch, but boy, he paid for it. A couple of Bulldogs led by Prather makes the tackle on Carter.
Well, he gets a first down out of it, and that's the key thing. And Carter holds on to it, knows contact is coming, as it has all day, with the perfect timing from the Maroon tacklers. But they're moving the sticks, and they're also getting the Mississippi State defense a little tired. That has been an issue for them this season, and not today, because they've not been on the field very long. 3 and out, you don't get tired.
6th play of this drive coming up. Rudy Johnson, the tailback, double tight end set. They put Heath Evans in motion. Play action. Lear throws on the shoelaces and drops. Well, that was a tough catch for Evans, the 250-pounder from West Palm Beach.
Tommy shaking his head there. That's a poor play by his quarterback, and I'm a big fan, as Evans couldn't stretch down there and get that one. I'm a big fan of this quarterback, Ben Lear. I think that he will be a guy who will maybe not start in the NFL. I think he'll make a roster. I think he'll be a backup player. He can make all the throws. He's a good heady player, but he told us the other day that he needs to improve throwing on the run, and there's a good example.
Second down, 3 wideouts. Lear throws, goal line, wrapped up, dropped at the 1. That was Clifton Robinson, and Josh Morgan hit him up high with the Auburn Tigers on the move.
Josh Morgan, a solid tackle, sort of a rodeo move there, and that time because the Dogs were in blitz, the safeties were blitzing, he locked up in man-to-man coverage. He likes being able to do that and doesn't get to do it very much, but a nice job there.
You know, Leard was 4 of 12 in the first half for 12 yards passing. This half game, 11 of 15 for 113.
Very good.
From the eye. Fullback is Rudy Johnson. He gets the call up the left side. No. Josh Morgan is stacking up the tackles.
We've got a decision here. I think he has to try to get 7, as we'll see this one again. Watch the penetration, and it's something we've seen all afternoon long. Watch the penetration. The guys in the maroon get in the backfield. Galladay, Hagan, Knight, secondary guys, Stevens.
Timeout, and we'll take a break. 17-0 Bulldogs. Tommy Tuberville, after the timeout, wants points. Blevins, and he has brought in his kicker, Damon Duval, and will try a 19-yard field goal. You can look at it both ways. Time, 11-13, you're down 17. The points, it could give this team a lift. It was a nice drive by the Auburn Tigers.
I think this is a good move. I think you have to get the points. Your team has worked for it. You don't want to come away with nothing. It shows the ultimate respect for the Mississippi State defense, and now you're 2 touchdowns away from having a chance to win it.
Auburn has broken the drought here in Starkville. They trail by 2 touchdowns, 17-3. Duval has it teed up at the 35-yard line. Tig Prather will bring it out. Prather at the 15, breaks the tackle, 20, 25, down to the 27-yard line. Well, our Rigid Tools Scholar Athlete of the game is Mississippi State University center Michael Fair. Rigid Tools' commitment to the investment of our future is shown today by donating $1,000 to Mississippi State University's General Scholarship Fund, 3.27. Now there's Michael Fair out of Carrollton, Mississippi.
Shouldn't surprise you that he has great feet. That's one of his best attributes because he was a former fullback and a linebacker in high school, and then he actually played some of that here. Nice player.
Dante Walker on the pitch. Stacked up and dropped. He'll lose 1 back to the 28. And Larry Casher cashing in as he broke through to make the stop.
You know, as poorly as Auburn has played offensively, their defense has hung in there, and they still have a chance here. They've gotten some momentum. They've gotten some new life because the other guys, their offense, put some points on the board. Wind behind you, a little momentum. Keep hope alive. You know what I mean?
Clock running. That would be the biggest enemy of Auburn. A little misdirection, and the ball goes over to Walker. Good downfield tackling by Auburn. It was Rob Pate.
Well, he ties up his man right there. Fair, we talked. Oh, my goodness. Got away with one there.
Look what the camera caught.
Huh?
Look what the camera caught.
Yeah, candid camera. No replay here, but no replay for the official's sake, but we caught you.
Dean, do you buy into the
fact?
Fair
was unfair.
Yeah.
Huh?
Do you buy into the fact, though, every offensive play, you can actually call holding on an offensive lineman?
Yes, I do. Every pass play.
Into the flat, read nicely again by Auburn. They have really come to call here on this defensive series. Mark Brown, the Jack linebacker, runs down Walker.
Brown is really talented. He's been a player they've worked both at the middle backer and also out here at Jack backer. And Auburn has momentum swinging its way for the first time all afternoon.
Prentice Cole, number 48, inside his own 15. Auburn should have good field position. Picked up and down inside the 5. Reggie Torbor picks up the loose snap and nearly gets in.
Well, there have been a few bad snaps today, but this was not one of them. This was just Prentice Cole fumbling around and stumbling around, and Auburn has a chance to turn this into 7.
Well, this field has seen some strange plays the last 7 days. You remember last week, Dean, the 2 snaps by the Gators over the head and shotgun? And now today a snap that should have been handled, but yet fumbled. And Auburn, with 8:54, knocking on the door. Rudy Johnson, touchdown.
And this is Rudy Johnson's quarter. He's like a bowling ball that you let go down a slide. He gains momentum, picks up speed, and by the time he hits the bottom, you better get out of his way.
Boy, how quickly the momentum has changed in this game. Simple play up the middle, and Rudy Johnson, all 230 pounds of him, rolls in. Duval in to try the extra point. This would cut the lead to 7. And 7 it is. Auburn down 7 and a lot of time. 8:50 remaining in the 4th quarter here in Starkville, Mississippi. Scott Field. A new record of attendance today, Dean, 43,917. They broke it last week against the Florida Gators, and they break it again today, 43,917.
And when they add on to this stadium, when it's completed, they will fill that stadium and continue to add on to it. As we have a ball game.
Duval the kick. Prather 5 yards deep. And says, nope, I'll take a knee. I will take a knee.
You know, Tommy Tuberville earlier this week told us, he said, you know, I preach patience. I preach stay with the game plan. He says, don't give yourself what Steve Spurrier did and panic and throw it 70 times. He says, you can't do that. Well, I thought it was pretty outspoken, which he is, to say that about Spurrier, number one. But it also shows that that philosophy is pretty good. It shows that you're confident in what your guys can do, because they did nothing the first half. But here they find themselves in the middle of this ball game at the 8:42 mark.
To add to that, they've been patient, waiting maybe for the one mistake that Tuberville spoke of that Mississippi State could possibly make.
Well, and I say that they haven't thrown the ball and gotten it picked off by panicking, and they also, he took the 3 points, Craig, instead of gambling against that great defense and coming up empty-handed. Now, all of a sudden, it is a 7-point game, and if they hadn't taken those 3 points, we may not be here. But still, they are against it, because Mississippi State, with the lead in that defense, is the favorite.
Second down and 9 from the 21. Backs are split. Matkin pedals back, 5-step drop, rolls over the middle. And the catch is pulled down by DeCenzo Walker. Third down and 1. They'll set this from the eye. Big hole and more. First down, DeCenzo Miller. Stanford Simmons, the free safety, made the tackle.
No tricks here. Out of this formation, you're going to do this. You're going to run the ISO play the majority of the time. And it was just man on man, and that time Mississippi State wins out.
Well, the middle three of Lee, Fair, and Watson opened up a big hole.
Yeah, and Lee and Watson are a couple of mid-term JC guys who are very produced.
They're backside on a naked bootleg. Auburn giving chase. Matkin throws and complete to Lindsey. Boy, good pursuit, but not quick enough was Javar Mills.
Jackie Sherrill calls Matkin an athlete playing quarterback. He calls his other quarterback, Kevin Fant, a quarterback playing quarterback, but that's a good example of the athlete in Matkin using his feet to create a gain of 3.
Second down and 7. Line up 2 wideouts to the near side. Now in motion goes Huntington.
You know, I like DeCenzo's action. He is a guy who keeps his legs moving, and he's always moving forward. And if you get down low in the trenches and see what he has, right here he doesn't have much. Gets hit, does a pirouette, continues to move forward. He's been on a roll.
15 carries, 115 yards. He's from Ware, Mississippi, and Dean, just down the road, about a 20-minute drive, and he always likes to check in and have Sunday supper with Mom. 3rd and short. Well, Auburn points one way, Bulldogs point the other. First down, Mississippi State.
Well, Mississippi State's best to do something with this offensively, because defensively they've lost a little momentum. Hagan, their star linebacker, is being looked at by the team doctors now. Dorsett Davis, the potential first-round pick in a couple of years at tackle, is out. Robertson is out, so they're a little depleted right now.
First and 10 from the 48. Matkin throws a rainbow near sideline out of bounds. And that stops the clock.
You know, Craig, what you're seeing right now, you might be saying as a Mississippi State fan, why throw it? Let the clock run. Well, you call plays at the line of scrimmage most of the time. Wayne Matkin goes to the line of scrimmage after getting the play sent in. 85% of the time, he will make the call based on what the defense does. It's an either or. And if they stack the numbers against the run, which they've been doing, you've got to throw it.
Second down and 10 to pitch. Look at the explosion. Miller. Boy, last week you saw a terrific performance of 172 yards on 19 carries, and today he's about equaling that against Auburn.
Gets the toss, sees a hole, goes right through it. And when you get the toss 5 or 6 yards deep, you've got to find what you want with your eyes and bust right through it. You don't have time. You can't just run and then react. You've got to see it and go. It's got to be instinctive, and I think that's one of the things he is more than anything else.
A pickup of 9, 124 yards.
He didn't get this unless it's second effort.
They're going to have to pull the chains out.
This is a huge spot by the officials.
Needed it, Dean, from our vantage point. They had to get over the 38-yard line, and they're not there.
He didn't get it.
About a football short.
Big call. 4.5 minutes to go. If you give it back to Auburn there, you're saying, defense, we think you can stop them. And I think that's why you would go for it, is that you have all the confidence in the world in your defense.
And Jackie Sherrill wants a timeout. I mean, Scott Westerfield has a nice leg, but not that strong. We'll be right back. Well, let's take a look at our Exxon scoring recap. Westerfield connects from 29. Griffith scores on the 41-yard touchdown. Fant finally jumps over from 1 yard out. And then Duvall answers with a 19-yard field goal to put Auburn on the scoreboard. Johnson from 1 yard, and that's how we got here. 17-10.
Jackie Sherrill electing to use a timeout here. I believe he will go for it. I think that because of the fact that last quarterback sneak was stopped, that they wanted to talk about it, Craig, because that's the play you go to. You have plays that you run as they're wanting to talk to the official about something, but because that play was stopped, I think they want to regroup, talk about it, and now they change their minds. Huh.
Boy, Jolie Dunn, he is burning up. So after the timeout, Mississippi State will choose to punt. Prentice Cole, who fumbled that last snap attempt that led to the Auburn touchdown, is in at his own 44-yard line.
He will be concentrating on catching this and getting it off and not worry about how far.
Clifton Robinson awaits. High hanger. And a good bounce inside the 5 to the 4.
Jackie Sherrill considered going for that, but he says, no, I'm a Bear Bryant disciple. Bear taught me to play defense, play field position, and win with special teams. And let's do that.
1st and 10, Auburn at the 4-yard line. Daniels, Worthy, and Carter, 3 wideouts to the far side. From the shotgun, Lear throws. Oh, a tough, gutty throw, and the catch by 15, Clifton Robinson. Boy, Lear threw that into some traffic.
Yeah, he did. It was zone coverage, and he'll find a little spot to throw it over the top of the linebackers underneath the safeties. That is perfect for Robinson. Clifton Robinson is a guy who's been a little bit banged up.
He's out of Naples, Florida, 22 years young, and a senior. 1st and 10 from the 20. Blitz. Lear throws near sideline, up on the ladder, and batted away by Smoot at the last second.
You know what, Craig? I think I would just go away from Fred Smoot. I mean, this guy is about as good as I've ever seen. I think Deion Sanders is a better college cornerback. And ironically, or coincidentally, his hero is Deion Sanders.
Along with a guy named Woodson.
He can tackle a little bit better than Deion. But I don't think you mess with him. I think you have to do what Deion used to do in his prime, and that's just people go to the other side of the field because they aren't going to beat him.
Smoot came to Mississippi State by way of junior college, Hines Community College, where he was a JC All-American. Heavy rush, Lear throws. That one will fall helplessly incomplete.
makes everything on his side a moot point, as Lear did go the other way that time.
Well, in his short time, Fred Smoot here at Mississippi State, 7 career picks, and he had one last week against the Gators. Auburn is 2 of 13 today, Dean, on third down tries.
Ronnie Daniels right here is their go-to guy.
Movement and flags. That's Doyle Jackson with the call.
Can't move in. That one's costly. Tungate in for Sears, out with that injury earlier. With a big miscue.
8 flags now against Auburn for 64 yards. Third down and 15.
This is when a crowd's really a factor because they can't hear the audible very well.
Leard in the pocket, throws complete, but not much.
I don't understand that.
Ronnie Daniels made the catch, but there was no running room.
No.
Eugene Clinton, the right dog safety, made the tackle.
No, I don't understand that. And they may be going for this one, but you check off to the receiver who's running a hitch on a 3rd and 15 and trying to break tackles against Joe Lee Dunn's defense is very, very difficult. You've got to get it downfield, and now you can look out on top for number 25, Daniels.
They're going to rush 3. Leard looks downfield, throws it incomplete.
You know what? He had him. Daniels was his man, and he overthrew it. That might be the last chance.
2:46 left in the 4th. And Mississippi State will take over on downs.
Daniels will come down on a post route right in here. And that play is opened as Clinton was giving a lot of cushion there, Craig. That ball was very throwable. It was not catchable, but it was a ball that Leard had a lane open, and he had a man open, but he didn't deliver, and it wasn't close.
You see timeouts, 1 remaining for both Mississippi State and Auburn. Miller stacked up, dropped for a 1-yard loss. Well, here's our CBS Sportsline stat of the game. In its rushing yards, Bulldogs with 125. Auburn held today for 18. For complete college football coverage, go to cbs.sportsline.com.
Valiant effort this afternoon by Pork Chop Womack. He has been out there in pain all afternoon long with that stress fracture, and I hand it to him for continuing to play because, Craig, that is an injury that hurts more and more as the season wears on.
2nd down, 11. The pitch goes out to Miller. He'll lose a couple of more back to the 23-yard line. 2 minutes left. There's a timeout on the field, and we'll be right back to Starkville. 1:59 remaining, 4th quarter. It's been an incredible 7 days in Starkville, Mississippi. It started a week ago today with that win over Florida. Today, unbeaten Auburn comes to town.
0 timeouts with Auburn, and I agree with you. The 7-day period. Last week they said the biggest in 20 years as we were here on hand for the Florida upset, and Tommy Tuberville brings his team to see Jackie undefeated. And because of the bad blood, that made this game even bigger.
3rd down and 14. Matkin gives it. DeCenzo Miller breaks the tackle and pushed out of bounds. He will be close to the 1st down. Rodney Creighton able to fight off that stiff arm of DeCenzo Miller.
Well, DeCenzo Miller does a nice job, and it was a good play call, but you've got to hand it to 10 right here. You mentioned Creighton. This is a play that if he does not get the ball carrier down short of this 1st down, the game is over. Auburn's down to slim chances as it is, but their chances are 0 if the 1st down is picked up on that play.
Back-to-back 100-yard games for DeCenzo Miller.
And so now on 4th down, Jackie Sherrill can win it with a field goal. If it is a bobble and Auburn picks it up, a block, and he picks it up, they can go in to tie it or win it with 2 points. So I think they go for it. What do you say?
Going for it.
Go for it. Make Auburn turn around if you don't make it and go 90 yards to have a chance to beat you.
Total yards today, Mississippi State 331, Auburn 164. They load up that backfield.
Now, is that a power formation? Tight end here, and you have 3 guys in the backfield. Sneak or a power play. Matkin. First game over.
Auburn out of timeout.
And fittingly for Mississippi State, the game clincher is a power play. A powerful football team. Powerful in the offensive line, powerful in the defensive line, powerful coaching. Just a powerful football team, and they are finally, Craig, getting some national respect that they believe is long overdue.
Clock is running from the eye.
Take a knee and go back to the huddle.
You're not going to take it on a knee. This Enzo Miller. Well, today's player of the game presented by Solomon Smith Barney is on the defensive side. Mario Hagan of Mississippi State. 7 tackles and 1 for a loss. Watch in December when Solomon Smith Barney presents the CBS Sports College Football Player of the Year award show.
Craig, I've really enjoyed Jackie Sherrill the last couple of weeks. I don't know about Jackie's logic here, though. I don't know why you hand that ball off, and now they're going to take a knee, but there were no timeouts remaining. And just a handoff play, there's too much execution involved. And I'd say you get on that knee as quickly as you can and you let this crowd go nuts and ring those cowbells.
Last week at this time, they had a rush to the goalpost. I don't think it's going to happen today. As we mentioned, they have new goalposts, but they put Vaseline on that lower bar so students, fans couldn't get a grip, so to speak.
What a sweet win for Mississippi State. Wayne Matkin playing another solid football game. He had the one mistake on an interception, but other than that, he was good. The rest of his teammates were good, and this crowd knows it.
Final seconds as Jackie Sherrill heads over to shake hands, or will he, with Tommy Tuberville?
I don't know. Let's watch. They've had some interesting recruiting battles throughout the years.
And they were cordial.
You know, one thing about these coaches, each is controversial. But you know what? These guys are good coaches because they win. They came into programs that weren't winning before, and they have been winning.
Back-to-back wins. Jackie Sherrill here at home, 17-10, the final. Mississippi State over Auburn. Understand that Tuberville and Sherrill did not shake hands. Well, they nodded at one another, but no handshake. Stay tuned. Tim Brando will be back with our college football postgame show in just a moment. 17-10, Mississippi State.